The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Get ready to be amazed. Get ready to know things that are usually unknowable. Get ready for an hour of insight and fascinating entertainment with Dr. Linda Salvin. For nearly 3 decades, Dr. Linda has been one of America's most celebrated psychic readers, metaphysical clinicians, and unmatched talk show hosts, bringing insights and solutions to thousands of people worldwide. Pull up a chair, turn it up, and get ready for a visit with the one and only Dr. Linda. And now, live from Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Hello, here we are again, back with the Starlight Café. What is the Starlight Café? Starlight Café is the name of my show that I started in 1994 on AM radio here in Los Angeles, where I was the leading and the #1 original radio psychic, and I would do psychic readings through call-ins on the show. And I called it Starlight Cafe because you are the star of the Starlight Cafe, where I would interview people and to answer your questions psychically or get into monologue on different topics in the metaphysical world, such as near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, predictions, candle magic, astrology, whatever was going on. So I went off the air for several years after my AM FM run for 18 years and just did privates, and I do guest appearances. I'm finishing my book, and I've had these shows now for about a year doing the digital programming. But what I'm doing today is bringing on my very, 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 very first client from the K-Big radio days in 1994 here in Los Angeles, on the largest FM radio station back then. And Fred Missman, who was on the show a few weeks ago doing astrology, he's going to also be back soon to do astrology and health. That'll be on the Tuesday show. But Fred's the one that gave me my start in radio back in 1994. And I was on the night shift with a man named Steve Woods, who's no longer alive. And my very first call-in was by a girl named Shirley. So Shirley calls me on the air, asked a question about weight. What else? And I said, call me off the air. She called off the air. And here we are 29 and a half years later. We are still friends. I still read her. I've walked her through a ton of different life situations like I do with everybody. We bicker like sisters. We have fun. We've had our nails done together. She one time came to my house when her kids were small and made a beautiful authentic Chinese dinner for my parents. I mean, she's just lovely. I want you to meet Shirley. Shirley has been with me for this whole journey from the very first time I hit the airwaves in 1994. Shirley Wu, welcome to the show. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. I am so excited to have you with me. And we're going to go through some of the funny, not so funny moments of your life journey between love, homes, travel, parents, children, college, training, life. Yeah. 30 years. I've known you almost 30 years. Next spring will be 30 years. So you were listening to the radio one night. It was a Tuesday because that's when I started on KBIG 104 FM. And I started it. I was on from 7 p.m. till I think 10 or 11 p.m. And every 20 minutes, they'd bring on the radio psychic Linda Salvin. And the phone started to light up. And the very first person we said hi to was a girl named Shirley. So here's Shirley. After all these years, we're still here. Why don't you talk about that? Yeah. Go back to that night and then we'll move it all forward. You're not going to talk about every single prediction. It's impossible.
No.
Ouija boards, all sorts of good stuff.
It's funny. I listen to the radio. I never pick up the phone. And when you came on, I thought, hey, why not? So I was home, just random dial the phone. You and I hooked up. You know what? I've never called a station before I called you. And it's really, really funny how I make one phone call the very first time because I was just curious. And I didn't know it was your first client. I had no idea. And you just started, and you said Tuesday. I don't remember Tuesday.
No, of course
I
not. It's not your
remember.
life. It's
I
my
remember
life.
I remember it was a weeknight. That's all I remember. And yeah, I did ask you about the weight, I'm sure. And I'm not sure what else I talked to you about, but you said
Maybe your
called you
love
off.
life or
Yeah,
something. Yeah. And then you called
probably.
me off
Yeah.
the air and then we started the readings. But through the years, let me just fix my camera. Through the years, I've done, I don't know how many readings for you, like normal client relationships that
Right.
I developed. Some people I've been reading for the full 25, 30 years that I've known people. Other people come and go once or twice a month. They come once or twice a year. Sometimes it's 5 years. They pop up. They've got something to tell me. They married the guy. The guy came back. The business fell apart. The children were born, whatever. That's the fun part. And then
Right.
a lot of people who have passed away. And then there's others that have now dementia, don't remember, but I have their testimonies in writing or whatever. But the brilliant part is you're here.
Uh,
So if you can start reevaluating some of the things we said, we can get to certain specifics down the road, but mainly you wanted to get married.
right. Probably.
Did
I want children.
you wanted
But
children?
before I won't have children without getting married. So that was probably one of my main things to think about back then. What was it? 94? Yeah, when I called you 94. So
That was before the internet.
this was before the internet. This was
We are
pick up the
old.
phone and start, no more dial phone. Start punching the buttons is what I did. I had a phone in my room. It was plugged into the, oh my God, it was way before a cell phone, any of that stuff. So trying to think. Don't know specifics anymore. But
Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
I did want to get married. I want to find a boyfriend. I went through a bad relationship and I want to find somebody. And you said the time will come. I'm like, all right, whatever. And you said that you will find somebody soon, but not right away. And it will be something totally unexpected. And I found my, now ex-husband very unexpectedly. I don't know if I ever told you, we were introduced at my parents' house. I
No, I
happened
don't
to be
remember.
there. I opened the door. This guy showed up. And I'm like, and who's in a tie? I couldn't believe. I looked at him. I was like, who are you in a tie, in a shirt and a tie? And I'm like, I'm here to see, so and so. And I'm like, all right, come on in. And I just kind of walked away. And then I found out that he's my age. He's here in the States by himself. And so I just thought, hey, it doesn't, I wasn't thinking. I just thought maybe I can help him, translation, a little bit of, help everyday living conditions. Sometimes, translating, translation can kind of gets lost. His English wasn't so hot, and we just became friends. And then he started working in my dad's company, and I just got to know him. So, and then that's when I came to you and I said, what do you think? And you said, you remember what you said to me? You said, not a good idea. and I'll tell you exactly what I told you, right? Without even thinking. I said, he's my age. He's from similar background, even though we're born in different countries, but we speak the same language. We have the same cultures. And most importantly, I can't wait any longer. I need to have children, but before I have children, I need to be married for at least 2 years without children. I need some time with him to make sure he's the right person to father my child or children. And you told me you're going to have 2 kids. You couldn't figure out if it was boy or girl, but I said, I don't care. But 2 is the perfect number. That's what I wanted the whole time. And it just continued. And then, throughout.
But I also said, don't marry him.
You did. And my retort was, yeah, but I want kids. I knew I had certain things I want in my life. And, he's got the right build. He's got the right culture. He's got the right background. He's got the right common language. And I thought, I'm not going to wait. But I waited for him to propose. I didn't propose to him. That was important to me too. I'm, very old fashioned in certain things. And he did. But the way he did it was like, do you want to get married? I'm like, what? So anyway, yeah, we did get married. We waited 2.5 years. And without telling him, I got pregnant. But I have 2 beautiful boys.
They're men.
And you told me it's going to be the first child. You told me that it's going to be a boy. It's going to be born on the date of the due date. Yeah, you're right. It was going to be very, very close. And he was born on the due date. I went to the hospital the night before, but it was and then I had an emergency C-section because his heart rate was dropping, and it was 10:30 in the morning. He's out, and he's healthy
Now
boy.
he's old. He's graduated from college. He's married.
He's married. He got married this beginning of this year.
And she's beautiful.
She's beautiful. To somebody that he's known since, I think, for about 6 or 7 years. But they were friends for about 3 years. And I thought that was very, very important.
Yeah, they established the foundation. They became friends first, because a lot of people, I just got off the phone with a guy. He gets involved with all these relationships sexually. And then after a few months, he finds out who the woman is. He can't stand her, or she's bipolar, or she's not faithful. And he comes to me what to do. I said, well, because you don't take time to get to know the person. You think you're going to know him just by sleeping with him. It's the other way around. You did it right with Charlie. But Charlie also wasn't exactly what I had hoped for you. And nor did you find what you needed from him, obviously. Right. But along the way, you had these 2 amazing kids. One's getting his PhD now. Is he getting his PhD? He's
still working on his master.
He's
doing it slowly because he's working and going to school at the same time.
Yeah.
And I told him to, don't rush. There's no reason to be, and he's busy. Between work and getting his master's degree, he's really, really busy. I said, there's absolutely no rush. You get your PhD, you will get it. It just, when you get there.
But look at what this is. I mean, there was a time when you were thinking about having kids. You had kids. I've been over to your house in the past where they were studying in their room and they were still young. Or when you brought them over, they were like 7 when you cooked for my parents. They were babies. And now they're both out of, they both got their bachelors. One's the master's. The other's already working, married. I mean, you're going to have grandkids soon. All of that. Grandma Shirley.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready, but I did tell my son to wait, and he goes, nowadays, it's not like, way, way, way back in, I guess, the way I was growing up. I never knew about any of the things that you're supposed to know now, but nowadays kids, they know everything, and
it's a whole different generation.
Yeah, they have it all planned out. But he did say, God's willing. I said, I'm ready. When God's ready, I'm ready. But you need to have time for yourself and for her to really, really get all the little things out of the way.
Yeah.
I learned, I teach, I pass down the mistakes I made. Communication was a big, big problem between me and Charlie. We didn't talk. We still don't talk. And I said, of all things, go have your little arguments, go have your little discussions, go have your little disagreements, absolutely, but you need to talk it out.
Yeah, that's what makes the bond work.
Yes.
Okay,
that's the mistakes I made, and I pass it on to him.
And I kept saying, you're going to talk, and he'd say he won't talk, and I said, but this isn't the man for you because you are a talker. But you know what? It's okay. And you still have another marriage or a partner coming down the road, Shirley. You'll see that there's someone else. But let's go to some of the fun predictions.
Okay.
There was a time, Shirley was involved with my Wicks of Wisdom infomercial. Shirley is in the infomercial, which you can find on my YouTube channel with Kris Jenner. We filmed that in February of 2006. It's still online. The candles are still sold. I'll talk about the Wicks of Wisdom in a moment. But some of the predictions, one that stands out, Shirley called like at 10 o'clock at night in a frantic, upset mood where she couldn't find a pouch of jewelry. Why don't you talk
Okay.
about that?
So what I did was I have, these are sentimental values. They're passed down from, from, I think one piece was passed down from generations. And I keep them in a stupid little pouch. And I normally have them in the stupid safe, but for whatever reason, I took them out. And I think I don't know what I was doing. Anyway, I took them out from the safe and I just put them away. And for whatever reason, I misplaced them. And I searched the entire house. And I normally don't call people after 9:30 because that scares people, right? But I was in a frantic and I picked up the phone and I called you. I said, I am going nuts. I can't find it. It's a stupid little,
I
black
said it was in the
pouch.
drawer. You said, no, I looked.
I did. I told you I went through every drawer. I'm not
You were
messy, but my
frantic.
floor
Yeah,
was
you were
a mess.
frantic. You were
I was frantic. You told me to go get some ice cream. I laughed in your face. I said, no, you said, no, calm down. Because by then I was searching the house for, I don't know, hours. I don't remember how long, but it was a good amount of time because most of my drawers, cabinets, places where I think I will hide my little pouch, I've went through them over and over again. Pockets, jackets, all that stuff. So I went and got my Haagen-Dazs. I sat there for half an hour. Done with my Haagen-Dazs. And by then it was 11:30, something like that. This was before the internet was totally available. So I went back and you calmed myself down. I went back to my one drawer that I thought I went through it over and over again. It was my undergarment drawer. And I just took which I normally don't. And I never thought put under there. It was at the bottom of the drawer, Shirley. Underneath my nightshirt, which
like
I
told
would
you
never put it over there. And you can't see it because my nightshirt's black and that pouch is black. So what I did was I lifted it up, put it right back down, because when I lift up the shirt, it's easy to grab the pouch with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I grabbed the whole thing and I'm like, oh, it's not here. Put it right back in. And because I'm not like a neat freak, but I clean it up. So I smoothed out my nice shirt and I put it right back in. So this time I went, there's no more drawers to go through. So I went back and I just meticulously took out everything in that drawer. The last piece of clothing I took out was my nightshirt and it was at the bottom.
And then you called me
but
back.
I couldn't call you though, because I think by then it was
no,
really,
you called me
really,
back.
really
No,
late.
you called me
Did
back.
I?
You found it.
I did.
I don't expect you to remember everything. I don't remember every detail. Yeah,
because then I called you that night because it was after midnight, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I found it. So thank you, Linda. That was you told me to get some ice cream. I laughed in your face.
I said, calm down. Yeah. If anybody's listening and wants to pipe in with the chat and ask a question, now's the time, and say hi to Shirley. There was another time, I know you don't remember, but you were on a cruise because your family is always cruising somewhere, or you're just somewhere in the world. Yeah. This family travels around the world almost as well. My family did too. My parents were always going somewhere. So you were always somewhere. But I remember you called from the ship. Yeah, it is a funny story. And you were on some cruise and you couldn't find something. And I said, no, you'll find it. I think it's in one of your son's suitcases or backpack, which was in a different cabin or room, and you found it. You found whatever you panicked about. We always find it. Right. But some of the things, like we would do the Ouija board together, and a lot of the words from the Ouija board, because there's a couple of spirits that I am connected to that I can bring in on the Ouija board, and a lot of predictions came through there. There was a time after the divorce about the house and then redecorating. And then when the kids grew, you wanted to sell the house and you moved out towards another town. And then as you were buying the new house that you're in now, without even telling me where you were going, I mentioned the city that I saw you buying in. Yes, I do, country. Meaning, yes, I use the Ouija board. You got to be very careful with the Ouija board. I'll explain that in a moment. But Shirley said, I'm buying a new house. And I mentioned the city. She had no clue that I even knew where she was looking. And I named the town.
You did.
And it was before you even closed escrow. You were just starting to look at this place, right? It was before the escrow.
it was,
Talk about that experience.
it was one of those, I've been wanting to buy a house. I'm tired of where I was living. I was not in the right place. And you knew that. You and I talked about that. And I want to move closer to my parents because I'm tired of driving. I'm tired of this and that, but I knew the house that I wanted. It has to be a single story house because I don't want to have to deal with stairs anymore.
Right, especially at this age. I don't blame you.
It has to be closer to my parents. It has to be somewhat of a newer construction
Or
home.
modern.
Like a modern contemporary. I don't want anything that's built in the 40s or 50s or 60s, which is very, very hard to find in Southern California. Because most new constructions after the 70s were always 2 stories or higher.
Right.
But I was one of those nights I couldn't sleep and I was surfing the net. I found this house on my own. And just so happened to have an open house the next day. So I rushed right over. It's not that far from where I was living. And I walked in, the realtor was still setting up. And I said, I'm early. I'm sorry. Can I just go? I walked around. I called my parents within the hour. I made them finish their lunch. Oh, I had to wait for them to finish their lunch. I brought them back. This is really funny. I don't know if I ever told you. My dad walked in. He looked at the living room, living room public area, living room right into the kitchen dining room area. He says, "This is good. This is good. You should really think about it." And I'm like, "I'm thinking." This is at the height of the market.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, she had open house for 2 days. She had a lot of offers. And I said, because I found the house myself, I don't have a realtor. So she's my realtor. So she became, she was my go-to person, my trick to get the deal that I wanted. I was not the highest bidder, but
you called and asked if you would get the house. I called the town and I said it's going to go through. And a week or 2 later, you closed or you got the acceptance.
I got the acceptance. I didn't close. I couldn't close because of this and that.
Remodeling and fixing. Yeah, the fixing.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of things that needs to be taken care of. But I got the bid. I was the biggest draw was that I let him stay until end of the year, which most people won't do that. But I said, this is my offer to you. You can stay because he was building his other house. So I let him stay rent free to take care of it. And he picked me because of it. Because of what I said.
Because you helped him, because you're the nice one.
Because I helped him. Right. And all I wanted him to do was take care of the house.
And he did.
He did.
And now you're there.
He didn't do anything, but he took care of it. He didn't trash it, which was what I was afraid of.
A lot of people will. You're right.
Yeah,
they don't care. Once they sell, they don't care.
But what's really funny, you named the town.
I did. And this is Southern California, people. We got a lot of counties, a lot of towns, a lot of neighborhoods.
Yes. But
how did you feel when I brought up the name of the town? I'm not going to say it because it's private.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to say it either. I'm sorry.
But when we were on the phone, I said, well, are you going to blah, blah? And you were like, when I mentioned of all towns, of all areas, in all communities, what was your thought when you said, oh, I found a house and I said, is it in blah, blah? How'd you react?
Yeah, I stopped. You started laughing. I stopped it because I said, the only clue you had was I wanted close to my parents. That's a lot of towns, but you named the town. And then I finally told you, this is the town I always want to be in. From when 20 years back when I raised my kids back in Yorba Linda, I've always said that this is the town I want to be in, and this is the town I'm in right now.
I almost lived there. I told you when I was working at General Dynamics, which doesn't exist anymore, but my first professional job as an industrial hygienist out of graduate school in '77, I looked at beautiful apartments in there right off the freeway. What is it? The 50? No, the 90. What's the not the? Is it the 57?
7, yeah.
Yeah. It was right off the 57. I don't remember the exit, but when I come visit, I'll tell you where I was looking. And I'd love to see that community now. It's all built up, I'm sure. But I remember how beautiful it was. But I didn't know anybody. I didn't know the area. But I just had a feeling when I kind of scanned where you move to where your family is. And remember, people, when the Asian families are so close knit, you got, I don't know how many relatives you have, but you've got like 150 people in your family on a cruise, on a trip, at dinner, at weddings, at graduations. There's this whole world that shows up in Shirley's family. You know, I got 5. You've got hundreds. But you're so lucky. And then now you've made it your own. You're settled. You're in. It worked. And then other things along the way, as far as predictions, we did a healing. You've done the candles. Why don't you talk about some of the candle work you've done? Let me introduce Wicks of Wisdom. Shirley has been around since the birth of Wicks of Wisdom, which was 1999, because I met Shirley in 1994. Okay, right. So she had gone on this journey from the FM station to the cable station and the online stuff. I mean, 30 years of life together. We've done a lot. We've gone out to lunch. We've had massages. We get our nails done. We do girl stuff. But we became friends. She was at my 50th birthday. I'm turning 70 in January. It was 20 years ago already, Shirley. You know, it's a long. So the candles, Wicks of Wisdom. It's candle magic. This candle, black and red, is considered what we use for money and success, good luck, to remove blocks, obstacles, negativity, to shut somebody up, for mostly for removing negative to bring in positive. Right. So then there's oils and herbs that we put into the candle, and then there's a petition. And I teach you how to write certain words that go in the flame. The candle in Kabbalah represents the soul of man, as I've said, and the wick, when lit, is the flame, which is light, which is God. So regardless of your religious upbringing, it's still spiritual. And Shirley's obviously very spiritual. She's very feng shui in her house. And I've seen her artwork and the way things are positioned. It's beautiful. You walk in, it's calm. And so she's very into all of this. And she did a lot of the candles. Why don't you talk about some of your experiences, having burned some of the candles in the old days, that have helped you? I don't think you did soulmate on Charlie, but I think we did money.
We did money. We also did the one, I don't remember the name of it, but it was when I was fighting a lawsuit.
Whoa, that's a sweetening judgment. You did the good luck power with the sweetening judgment to encourage the win of the legal problems. Yep.
Right. I just want to make sure that, I can go through the divorce properly, successfully.
And you did?
I did. Everything went, of course, it's the give and take, but I would say 85% of what I'm asking,
you negotiated in your favor. That's the beauty of the Wicks of Wisdom. Right. The Wicks of Wisdom work like a prescription for your soul. So Shirley would do, when you have a legal problem, we go after their attorney. So it was her husband's attorney plus the judge hearing the case to make the decision. We do the sweetening judgment for that person. We do the good luck on the attorneys. I teach you, or Shirley, for example, what to write and direct the energy. So it would come in her favor. Charlie could have won more had he had the right negotiations or the way it was, but it was the way we worded things and how it works. I'm not going to say on the air because I don't want to give it away, but we influenced it in her favor, like adding the cherry to the sundae. It was already there, but you got even more. And yeah, he got 15%, but he could have had 50. He could have had 85. It could have been reversed. But thankfully, you got almost everything you asked for and then some.
Right.
And you're still going to settle with this last piece in your favor. And I don't think it's going to take another year. That is my prediction, Miss Shay. You're going to get this slam dunk, get it done, get it over with. Yes. Be done, be done, be done. You're done, 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 done. You're so kind all the time, where you want to people please and make sure that they do the right thing, or things about your kids, and he is a father, but you raise these kids. He didn't show up when they needed him at graduations or for certain tests or sports or music or whatever they were doing. So it's not like you want him to behave a certain way. He wasn't always available anyway. So I want you to give yourself the credit. You did all the work. Yeah, you did all the work, Shirley. And it's not about just always being nice to keep the peace. This is why now you can say to the attorney, I am ready to close this out. write the letter, make a demand. Let's get this resolved. Charlie has it. He has dragged it on because he could. And I'm telling you all along, no, 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 no. So now it's time. Fix it, close it, enjoy it, take another trip. Okay. Yeah. But be done. And then once you're done with this, then you're going to meet somebody new, because right now it's still hovering over you. That's preventing you from expanding your social life. You'll see when you close this, the next chapter opens.
Okay. Definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome. So about the candles, what else? You were in the infomercial. You were there when we filmed. Why don't you talk about that experience?
It, you know, by all actor, my God. But I did. I talked about the candle, and I talked about how Linda taught me what to write and how to burn it, how to take care of it. I've watched the candle do its magic.
Oh, it does work.
Yeah. It does work. I've seen the flames. It was really weird. I kind of freaked out one night because I don't know if I ever told you this. The flame went really, really big.
Mm-hmm. You did, and I told you how to either pat it out or put a cover on it.
I just watched it. I watched it. It went really big. I kind of freaked out a little bit, but because I sort of didn't know what to do. But it was inside the fireplace, because you told me to put it over there, so it's a little safe with the door open. Mm-hmm. And I just watched it, and in about 10-15 minutes, it kind of just came right back.
It calms down. It calms down. What Shirley's talking about are the flames. Each candle has a personality of its own. No two ever burn alike. Some are going to crack, some are going to spill, some are going to ooze. Sometimes the flame's like a pinpoint. Sometimes it's real big and it dances and it moves around. Other times it just sits there and flutters like this. You never know, but you can feel the spirit. You can feel the warmth. You know it's working in your favor. Sometimes, and people have seen the actual spirits, because there's spirits in the oils. This is real. Can't get this anywhere on the market. Right. And then sometimes you see the dancing of the spirit on your ceiling from the glow of the light, from the flame. And yes, if you're not used to it, it'll be overwhelming or scary if the flame starts to grow, because what's happening with the flame, it's reading the petition. It's reading the petition. So the work that goes out to whoever's name is on this, whether it's mine or the attorney's or your husband's or a friend of mine, or if I'm doing some healing work on somebody, it's directed. So the flame sometimes has to push harder to get through. Sometimes we're asking for something almost so impossible. The flame has a baby light, because it has to work harder. And you'll see this pinpoint, and people say, oh my God, it's not working. I said, give it a few days. And all of a sudden that pinpoint works through, and the flame starts to grow, and it captures the wick, and then it goes. No two are alike, but wicks of wisdom work like a prescription for your soul. People have been asking questions. Let me address some of the questions. Let's go back to the Ouija board. Yes, I still use the Ouija board, but it takes a certain type of person to work the Ouija board with me, because there's energy. You can throw out your back. You have to have potassium, like a banana. You have to have water. And then my mom and a guy named Jeff, who was a famous rock star at one point, he comes through. Shirley's met Jeff on the Ouija board. We used to talk to Jeff, and a lot of what Jeff predicted happened for you. We would take notes as we were doing the Ouija board. But it's not a game to play with. It's not something to shun. There are real spirits and negative entities that come through if you don't know how to protect yourself or how to connect with the other side, which I do, having had 3 near-death experiences. So it's easy. And there's other people that have written books on the Ouija board and communicated with them. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful tool if you know how to use it. Somebody asked about the shut-up candles. What the shut-up candles do, I've got an order right now where I burn candles for a lot of my clients. They pay me to do the work because they don't have the time to do the work. It's a lot of work. Each set takes about 15 days, as you know. It's a lot of work. So the shut-up candles is to silence somebody if you're being harassed at work or in a relationship, or there's a third wheel, or somebody's really annoying. The formula, depending on the work, has a different formula. And then the words are different than that would be for legal or love or health. For shutting someone up, to silence them from backstabbing, gossiping, talking rumors, showing up unnecessarily. We shut them up. They don't get hurt. Nobody gets hurt through this. This is not devilish work. This is just white magic spirit that can quiet someone down. All of a sudden, I had one girl who worked for the city of LA, I think, and she was being harassed all the time. And we did, I think, good luck to remove the blocks and obstacles and silence or shut up to keep the people at work who were racially attacking and bullying her. One person lost their job, another was transferred, and another just stopped bugging her. So they work in mysterious ways, just like you saw more than you expected in your divorce proceedings. You got more, but we did the work to open that energy up in your favor.
Right.
So that's part of how shut up candles work. I've got 16, 17 different formulas, people, and there's a little 20-second audio piece at wixofwisdom.net or lindasalvin.com, and it'll explain what each set does if you're interested. And so Shirley's done the candles. Shirley's done the Ouija board. Shirley's had a healing. Shirley's had tons of readings. We actually have an hour session next week. And I know Shirley's path and her journey, because even though we as people have free will, me as a psychic, I can see 6 months, a year or two down the road. Or it's like, oh, I want to marry this guy. And if I get the hit, it's not going to last, but this one might. You've got free will. All I am is a flashlight with suggestions. I do make predictions. I mean, that's my job. What you do with the information is up to you. If it comes back and you find I was right, great. If you took your free will and went into a different direction and the results aren't there, that's not my fault. That's your choice. Nothing's in stone. You have freedom. The beauty of going to a psychic is like the heads up. You get a warning. You get a name or a date, or just like with the house. So like when I said, Shirley, you looking to buy in such a town, and I described the house a little bit, then you knew you were on the right path.
Right. Absolutely.
You know.
And trust me, I didn't listen to you. I did not. I still did what I wanted to do, but you gave me a heads up.
I gave you the heads up. There was a time you panicked about your father, and I said not to worry, and he's still here. Right. I remember something in the garden. There was something you were so worried. I said, no. And also what you and I are dealing with are aging parents, even though we think they're going to drop tomorrow, they're not. But we're good daughters. We show up for our parents, and you have your kids to show up for you. I missed the last question about putting what back. Do you have to put the spirits of the word back? No, it's not that you put them back. There's a prayer and a statement that is said when you clear the board, which I will not explain on the air, because that's private, and you get all that training through me when you pay for the information off the air. But if I put it on YouTube, no, I don't work that way. I don't give it away, just like half the people out there doing card readings. Oh, he's thinking about you. He's missed you. He's going to call you if you could save this sound. It's all bunk. It doesn't work that way. But there's all these millennials uploading to TikTok and Instagram that they're all psychic and they're doing card readings. And there aren't that many true psychics out there. There's a lot of false prophets. But as we know, I've been doing this since 1992. And I work hard to prove, and it'll be in my book, which is, I'm almost done putting all the testimonies together for the editor to put in my book, where it will quantify my work. Maybe I'll have you write a testimony and you can put it in the book if you want, Shirley. We're collecting the rest of the testimonials. Yeah, I would love to have you be part of it. I need a photo, of course, and then we can talk a couple of the highlights. But is there anything else you'd like to say to the audience as far as your experience with a psychic or the candles or the Ouija board, your spirituality? Because it's all part of who you are that got you through the marriage, the children. Well, I met you before you were married. So, I mean, your life, you were working as a CPA. You're brilliant.
Well, I don't know about that, but thank
you. Yes,
you
are.
I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm a skeptic.
Oh, yes, you are.
But I am. And I don't listen to people, what they tell me. You know that. You're the first one to tell me that. You don't listen to what I just said. Yeah, I know. But I will, what, like you said, it's my choice. It's what I want. It's you can give me all the advice you want. You can say, you have to think about this, you have to think about that, because it's not your job to tell me what to do. It's your job to advise me what I should do. And
what it looks like is going to happen 6 months from now.
Right. Just like
Or to
you
say
guys
the
are saying,
jewelry's in the drawer.
right, right. And I'm like, no, it's not. But he goes, go get some ice cream. Oh, okay, I'll do that. Definitely anything for ice cream. But the thing is that, when when I calm down, when I think about it, when I go back, and like all of us, we have regrets. We have this, we have that. This is part of life. Do I regret some of the things that I did? Of course I do.
We
But
all do.
would I do it again? Probably, because I'm too me. I'm too stubborn, I guess is the word, that I won't. I'll think about it, but I'm like, I want to do what I want to do. So you got me here, Linda. That's why I'm still with you. She's amazing. She's told me things that I never thought would happen happened. She's told me things that's not going to happen. It didn't happen. She's told me things that it just life in general. I do. I don't call Linda on a whim. I don't. It's not fair to her. She works really really hard for where and she needs to be paid. That's her living. But that frantic phone call was the only time I think that's the only no
Just one or two, but no, but we chit chat and we
the
message. We're
second
still
time.
friends. I'll throw
Yeah.
out a couple of freebies. I'm
Yeah.
not worried about that. But when
No.
you're really serious about your reading, we have like she saves it up for one annual and I spit it all out in an hour. And you go for like a year, but in between we talk all the time. I mean, it's not like I don't talk to you.
Right,
But
right. We text. Nowadays we have this thing called texting, which I absolutely love.
the messaging. Yeah.
It's a mess. I don't care. It's a messenger. It's in message. I think it's the best thing in the world because we, hook up with each other when we can. That's it.
Say hi. How are you? What's new?
That's
how you feeling? How's your knee? How's your health? How's your mom? How's your dad? How are the boys?
Yeah. But guys out there, if whoever's listening, if you guys listening, stay with Linda. I'm still here, and I'm a skeptic, and I'm still here.
That's
I'm not
30
leaving.
years.
She's not going anywhere. I will follow her to the end. Seriously,
Shirley, I love you.
Something I want to mention about the Ouija board,
Yeah.
like Linda said, it's very, very important that you have to do it with the right person, because there's a lot of negatives out there about the Ouija board, and you don't know who you're talking to. I remember as a child, I played games with my family friends. We're similar. Kids play together. They had something similar. It's not a Ouija board, but something similar.
A talking
and I
board.
really freaked out. I freaked out because something happened. It scared all of us. There was about 4 or 5 of us.
Wow.
And for a long time, I won't even go near that.
No, it's frightening. You're absolutely right. The talking
I was
boards.
so scared, and she was freaked out. She's an older. She was the oldest, and she freaked out, and she absolutely won't do it again. And we sort of stopped that game. It was a child game. It was something that she thought
you brought in spiritual entities.
Right. But we didn't know. We were just playing. So I remember when Linda introduced the Ouija board, I was very, very skeptic about it. I was very afraid, and I told her about it. And she goes, "Well, let's see if we can find Jeff. If we can find," and Linda has a way to contact him, and she knows who if
there's
the right
code.
person.
There's a code.
There's a code, right? And we've had a session where somebody came, and Linda goes, we're stopping," and she just wiped everything out because it wasn't.
That was nasty.
I remember that.
We got to be careful. They slide in.
Wrong. It was wrong. So people out there, don't do Ouija boards without somebody who knows what they're doing, and you have to trust that person immensely to do it together. Linda goes, "I have an energy that Jeff picks it up," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, so that's good. I like that part." So, and I would love to talk to Jeff. I haven't talked to him for a long time.
Well, I owe a trip out too.
Yeah.
I need to come out, so I'll come out. We'll pick a date, probably on a Saturday. It's easier.
Yeah.
And you're only about 45 minutes east, so we could plan something. I'll bring them with me.
Okay. I will.
We'll go have Chinese food.
Say hi. We'll
go.
Well, I'll take you to the right Chinese food.
You always do.
We'll
figure it out. But we're at the end of the show. Shirley, I just have wanted so much to talk to you. We've got about another 6 minutes that I have used your story
Okay.
I don't know how many times on radio in private sessions, because, I always give experience and strength of other people's experiences. I tie it in from mine or another client to tell the person I'm talking to they're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the only one that has felt this or dealing with that, whether it's love or money or career or parents or moving or divorce or whatever we're going through.
Right.
Oh, I have a guy who just said blah, blah, blah. And I said it to another guy. So he knows he's not the only one dealing with this situation with a woman he's dating. So I said, look, the two of you have a similar thing. I said this to him, with you do this, and then it'll happen. So it's you get the seeding, you get the message. What you do with it is how you apply it or how you integrate it. And a lot of, yes, Carly, Candle Magic, Wicks of Wisdom, go to wicksofwisdom.net. There's the Do As I Say, which is the DNA power. You do the good luck power first, and blocks, obstacles, negativity. Then you follow it up with either the DNA power, the control power. You cannot manipulate behavior, but you will see more things go in your favor than you would not than without the candles, as Shirley can attest. Shirley's been around since they were born. Mm-hmm. And then she was in the infomercial, which we filmed in 2006, even though the internet says the 1900s, 1990s, but
no, it was 2006.
It was 2006, and everybody thinks they're Kris Jenner's candles. They're not. She was a paid actor to be the host with that whole fiasco. But anyway, the candles can help not really manipulate, but if it's meant to be and it's spiritually correct, you can burn candles and all of a sudden the money's flowing, the jobs are exploding, the relationships are growing, health is improving. I'm going to have a man on. We're taping on Monday, and then it'll be on probably next Thursday. His experience with all the candles. He's a big health executive in the United States. His wife had some issues that the health and wellness helped heal that even a doctor couldn't. I mean, there's some really magical things that happen here. And the man that trained me will eventually be on the show. But I took what I was trained in and combined it with my own energy with Kabbalah and Santeria and made Wicks of Wisdom. So yes, people will start to change. Love lives open up. Money starts to flow. Jewelry is found. Maybe not with the candles, but I'm a metaphysician, so I dabble in different areas with nutritional products to keep you healthy. If it's the candle magic to expand things in life, whether it's money, luck, love, health, or whatnot, peace and harmony. I have, I'm available for readings. I can't do Ouija board on the phone, obviously, because you got to be there with me. But if you're in Southern California or you want to get together, I charge, as Shirley knows, to bring in Jeff, and it's a longer session because of what goes on. But there's different aspects to metaphysics. There's different aspects to spirituality. It's not just religion. This has nothing to do with religion. This deals with spirit. But I bring in the good spirits, like a good witch. Okay, I don't bring in the negative. And like Shirley said, something was wrong that day. And I said, got to get rid of this. I think that was at your house, or was it at my house? One of them. Because I remember it was something negative. I think it was at the counter in your kitchen that something weird came in. Do you remember that?
It was weird. It wasn't the right code. Like you have a code with them.
No.
Yeah, it was.
It was totally off. That was at my house that time. Okay, but I remember we've had some close calls. But the beauty is we get rid of all of that, and the beautiful stuff still comes in. My siblings will give me no inheritance. So what, Carly? If they won't give you an inheritance, don't speak to you. Then. Jeff was a very famous musician and is now in spirit. So just like I'm bringing my mom. If your family doesn't want to talk to you, call me off there and I can tell you how to fix it. I can tell you what candles might bring it back. I had a woman who was my assistant on the radio for many years, Connie. She hadn't heard from her daughter in 5 years. We did some candles and the daughter called it that Christmas. Yeah, they'll come back. I know how to fix the dysfunctional families. That's not an unusual situation, Carly. I have the solution. That's the beauty of Wicks of Wisdom and my readings. You have the problem. I have a potential solution that works most of the time. I'm not 100%, as Shirley knows, but I'm pretty good. Shirley, I can't wait for Tuesday. Thank you.
I can't Tuesday. No, you're never 100% right. And
nobody is.
That you cautioned. Something that you made a comment to me back in 94, 95. You said, I'm never 100%. I'm not God. So you have to understand that. Because I had the notion that, you're psychic. You're supposed to know. You're like, no, it's what.
And I'm honest. And most psychics won't admit that.
She's honest.
We're at the end of the show.
Oh,
Stay
sorry.
there. Don't hang up.
Okay.
Just sit there. We're going to put you backstage and I'll come talk to you afterwards. But I want to thank you for taking the time to share your experience with everybody. And I'll have you back at some point, or maybe we'll have another Ouija session and then we can come talk about that and do a whole show on the Ouija board. But Shirley, God bless you. And I'm so happy for what you've accomplished. And there's still more. You're going to remarry. I know you don't believe it, but
my God, I'm still waiting. I don't
fix
believe
this.
You're right.
I know. Fix this other thing with the attorney. Close that chapter and watch what happens.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Linda. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye, Shirley. Okay, everybody, that's the end of the Starlight Cafe for today. You've got wonderful questions. If you want my help, please book an appointment at lindasalvin.com. You pay for 30, 40, or 60 minutes. I cannot give you half the information I know for you on the air because that's not the way it works. Well, I don't mind giving bits and pieces, but when you've got a dysfunctional situation, nobody talks, you're not getting the inheritance. That comes through a reading. I explain the people's behaviors, unlock the blocks as to why you're being rejected, or I tell you what candles to use to open it up. In the meantime, listen to the replays. Tell your friends about the YouTube channel, Dr. Linda Salvin. And we'll be back. Well, Tuesday will be the Transformational Tuesday, and then Wednesday will be with me and Candy Finnegan on Recovery Wednesday. And then next Thursday, we'll see. Starlight Cafe. In the meantime, if you need me, Dr. Linda at lindasalvin.com is my email address. You can call me toll free at 888-509-1077. Instead of just popping up with questions, take care of yourself. Come to me. Let me give you the tools, the insight, the knowledge. Look, Shirley's almost 30 years in with it. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm only going to give you the guiding light that you need. You don't like it? Don't take it. But most of the time I'll be accurate to help you. You take care. God bless. And like a prescription for your soul, Wicks of Wisdom work. And like I say every time, is this where spirit meets reality, or is it reality meets spirit? That's what we find out at the end of every session or show of Starlight Cafe. Take care. Thanks, Rebel. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed today's program with Dr. Linda. Need a breakthrough of your own? Ready for answers or insights nobody else has? Reserve your own one-on-one in-person chat. Dr. Linda isn't just for other people. Dr. Linda gets results for you. And it's easy. Contact details are on screen now. Just click on lindasalvin.com or call toll-free 888-509-1077. That's lindasalvin.com or toll-free at 888-509-1077.